And Imtiaz is possibly the longest-serving travel trade journalist in Asia-Pacific, maybe even the world. He started as an analyst and historian of our great sector in 1981, which was almost exactly the same year that I joined the travel and tourism sector. So it's great to meet you, Imtiaz. I feel I know as though I know you because I've been reading your columns over all these years. Great to have you on the channel.
Thank you, Geoffrey.
And to benefit from your knowledge over all those years. Because time is short, what I'd like you to do, first of all, is to give us an overall impression of what's happened in these last 25 years. What is it that has happened here in the Asian countries that has been successful in building its tourism businesses?
Okay. First, thanks for having me here, and a warm welcome to all the members and the delegations of the WTTC who will be here. I think you're all here really at a wonderful time in history. This is the 50th anniversary since the founding of ASEAN. It is the 30th anniversary of 1997, the economic crisis. It is the 25th anniversary since Visit Thailand year, the first of the great marketing extravaganzas that actually raised the tourism industry, not just in this country, but this entire region, to a whole new level. Now, in the 50 years of ASEAN, some of the most amazing thing that has happened is that you've seen countries like Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos emerging from the backwaters and war and genocides. You've seen countries like Indonesia and Philippines beating off internal dictatorships and colonialism and a whole bunch, an immense change that was taking place. The common thing that united them at that time was really the task of nation building. So as these new countries emerged and came into the fold, they joined some of the other lead countries like Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, and travel and tourism became really one of the most important elements of that nation building process because it was very an effective creator of jobs, it was a major distributor of income, it was a major generator of foreign exchange. And the formation of the WTTC in 1991 came at just the right time because all the ministers in this part of the world were looking for like a Magna Carta, if you will, a few set of key talking points that they could go back to the prime ministers and the heads of state and say, we need to develop the travel and tourism industry because. And there were 4 or 5 key points that really came up. And when the WTTC produced its first brochure, I remember covering that event at the time when it came up, really they had a small series of talking points. And I'll be happy.
Please do. And you brought them with you. And if we could,
I'll be happy to show them because I've kept this over the years because I knew what great history would eventually be made. And it was quite simple, literally. All you had to do was liberalize travel and tourism policies, which means remove impediments. You had to resist protectionist policies. You also had to expand your infrastructure, remove barriers to travel, and develop education, training, and environment. None of this is rocket science. It was pretty clear. These were backed up by statistics showing exactly how big the industry was. Next slide. Very simple. It was the world's largest industry. It was the world's largest employer. And they had a number of statistics that proved this point.
And it's really interesting. We're seeing 5.9% of world GDP in 1990. And now we're talking in excess of 10, 11% of global GDP these years later.
And you can see there was a forecast that by 1993, it would be worth, the travel and tourism workers will earn that much. Yeah. So this was, I mean, those days forecasts were like put out 2 years, 3 years. I mean, now we talk a little bit longer term. And then the final thing, really, what they did was they encapsulated all of this into, slide 3, this. Policy highlights, this is what you need to do in order to do this, eliminate the barriers of growth, expand the markets, and promoting the world's largest industry. So really, I mean, these were really very fundamental bullet points, and it really hit the nail on the head for all the ministers. You just needed to take these issues and go to their budget departments and their finance departments, and really so the WTTC played a major role in what you're seeing today, and it's really a wonderful time to come back and see the results of that.
But that's inspirational on the one hand, and on the other hand, maybe a little bit disappointing because some of the issues that are raised there, ASEAN has been very successful in addressing, but globally, and perhaps too in ASEAN, some of the issues we're still talking about.
Yes.
So what needs to happen still to put things into the right order?
That's an excellent question. The most important thing right now that is happening is that the era of creating and generating growth is over. The UNWTO has said that several times, but we have seen that actually happening over here. This part of the world already has the infrastructure, they've liberalized the visas, they've removed the impediments and the obstruction. So right now, you're sitting in the middle of a population base of 4 billion people within the Asia-Pacific region. Generating growth is a no-brainer. The key issue now is going to be managing this growth.
And we'll take that issue of managing, I think, forward into the summit. I mean, if you had to encapsulate it in just one sentence, what does the industry need to be doing in the next 5 years that will make that difference?
To make sure that all the laws, rules, regulations are in place to manage that growth. And this will include everything from carrying capacities to law enforcement to consumer protection laws. I mean, even some of the new companies coming in with like Airbnb and even the new airlines and others. The laws that were put in place to generate the growth are no longer valid. They have to be rewritten.
That's a great opportunity to us. We're going to have Airbnb in the studio later on today, I hope. Let me put some of those points to them. And let me thank you, Imtiaz, for your input. It's been a revelation. You've had a memory. You've kept the papers. It's been really very instructive, and thank you so much.
Thank you, and I wish everybody a really successful summit.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming to Bangkok.